Hi guys, welcome back to 10 Minute Reviews. I'm Jason. The fuzzy one right here is Freya, and we're bringing you today's episode. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons, guys. We appreciate all the help. This is our small little family channel, just our passion project, and we'd really appreciate the support. So today I'm going to go back into the urban fantasy genre. We do try and cover pretty much every single genre that is out there that we read. That's why we haven't done any romance novels yet. Neither one of us read that. So today I want to talk about another urban fantasy genre. James R. Tuck's Deacon Chalk books. It's a trilogy, and I'm hoping that maybe if people start reading them again, that maybe he'll write another one. Apparently the author, James R. Tuck, is I believe he's a professional tattooist, and tried writing some books, and he wrote some excellent books. I believe he has 4 books written, but the Deacon Chalk is just a trilogy, and it is definitely open-ended, because each one of them is on their own. So I'm going to talk about 4 things. The world, the characters, the plot-ish, and the writing style. So, James R. Tuck and his Deacon Chalk books. The first one is Blood and Bullets, and the second or third one was Blood and Magic. There's also Blood and Silver, I want to say. I just couldn't find that in the multitude of shelves around the house. So, Deacon Chalk is the world, starting with the world. So the world, theoretically, modern world. Our world, but again, it's urban fantasy. So our world with the hidden elements. This isn't one of those urban fantasies where the supernatural creatures are out and known to the rest of the world. It's not like that. This is one of those ones where it's like the hidden world, the second world. You know, they try and hide their presence and what they are and who they are. But it has all the usual tropes and then some oddballs. So of course it has your werewolves, it has your vampires, all the usual stuff. What Deacon Chalk is, he calls himself an occult bounty hunter. Because he's not like a monster hunter or something like that. In fact, he goes out of his way a lot of times to save monsters. So he doesn't look at them as monsters, he just looks at them as people. Now, he was introduced to the supernatural world via the usual tragedy trope and former family and stuff like that. But instead of being I'm going to kill every monster out there, he becomes involved in that world, and he definitely does not like the monstrous ones of the monsters, but he does realize over time that they're people, and he saves the ones he can. So that's kind of Deacon Chalk's thing. Is he fights and kills or destroys the bad ones while he tries to help the good ones, and he helps them in multiple different ways. And that's the plot of the books. Each one of them has their own individual plot for the most part that does resolve. So each book is a standalone book on its own, but they do kind of tie into each other. And so in order to kind of hide himself, to fund himself, kind of hide himself, and give something for the ones he saves, Deacon Chalk actually owns, of all things, a strip club. He owns a strip club off the side of town. Now, the thing is, every one of his employees is some form of supernatural, and you get some weird ones. I mean, you've got your typical, you've got your vampires, you've got your werewolves. I don't believe he has any vampires that work for him, but mostly he has shifters, and I don't believe he has werewolves. But he has like a were-bunny that I think is his bouncer. He has a were-deer, and one book revolves almost entirely around a spider, and a were-spider at that. That's pretty frightening with its poison and so on and so forth. Pretty frightening, pretty oddball, and yet not a bad person. Not a bad person. So she ends up being saved, and actually, the events with her almost cover an entire book. She's pretty central to one of the main plots. The writing style, James R. Tuck's writing style, it's a blast. It's an absolute blast. Definitely very action heavy, but at the same time very human. He really humanizes Deacon Chalk as the savior, the helper, not just the bounty hunter and the warrior, but also the person that wants to help people, wants to save them, wants to bring them up, wants to give them a chance to rise up. And he also wants to protect humanity from this whole supernatural side that tries to hide itself anyway. While at the same time, he's kind of your rough and tumble, rough and ready, take no crap, big, burly bounty hunter dude, walking around in his old tanker boots, stomping on vampires and shooting them with silver bullets. He's got a small arsenal. Of course, everybody that works at his place is armed. They're all trained. He actually has turned it into, it has the ability to turn itself into a bunker almost, which does come into play in one of the later books. I want to say book 3, where he does have to kind of bunker up, bunker down, go to the mattresses, and rely on his employees that are really more of his family, because again, he saves them. He takes the lost waifs and gives them not just a home, but a family around them, the rest of the employees there, and a job. Just all around, he takes care of his people, and he turns them into his people. And so when necessary, even though he fights solo for the most part, he does kind of get sort of an apprentice almost, but he fights solo, but when necessary, he's got his family to back him up, to help him out, although he prefers not to, because the whole idea was to save them to begin with. But when necessary, he has contacts with them. They will back him up when it comes to interacting with other parts of the supernatural world. I mean, it certainly helps when you're, say, negotiating with a shifter species, that you have 3 or 4 other shifters that are right there with you saying, you should listen to this guy, he's a pretty good dude, or he can do what he says he's going to do. So overall, if you like urban fantasy, you really have to read James R. Tuck's Deacon Chalk series. They're absolutely phenomenal. Because there's only 3 of them, it's not like one of those ongoing series that you're always going to wonder what the hell happens. It does, and they're all individual stories, so you're not really going to feel like you're open-ended or left hanging, like some authors will have a tendency to do. So again, hit the like and subscribe buttons and go check out James R. Tuck's Deacon Chalk books. Thanks for watching. Bye now.